Hello everybody. So, what are we doing today? This is the Iveco Daily 2008 clocks. I think it's a Mark 4. And what we're doing today, as the title says, we are disabling the engine management light. You know, maybe you've got, say, a fault with your emission system, or you've repaired it, but you can't get the code off. You know, you can't get the engine management light to go off. Now, Iveco Daily is quite good because certain parts of the emissions control system you can actually disable, and it doesn't put it into limp mode, which is nice. The trouble is, you get the annoying engine management light up and the EDC light up. So we're going to have a go at disabling them both in such a way that they still work for an MOT. So, this probably shouldn't be posted onto the internet. I probably shouldn't show you how to do this, but here we go, all the same. The video can only be taken down, hey ho. So let's get to it. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure all your needles are turned all the way to the rest position. And then what you want to do is you want to take a photo of those so you know exactly where your needle stops. Obviously, when you put your needle back on again, because we've got to take these needles off, what you do is you know to set them in the right orientation. Okay, on this particular clock, the best thing to do with these is to turn the needles backwards past the end stop. Now, it doesn't break them, thankfully, but it does break the connection between the needle coming out, you know, the shaft, and the actual plastic of the needle. And as you turn it back on itself, pull up at the same time, and it does. They do eventually come off. They're on very tight on these. You're not usually like that, but on these they're on really tight. Okay, once you've done that, flip the clocks over and play the finger equivalent of Twister. And all of these annoying clips. While you pull up with one of your fingers, try and undo one clip with your thumb and keep holding the pressure on it, and then it'll just keep on doing more clips, and eventually the whole thing will pop up. And yeah, you get to the point where you can just sort of do this, which is nice. OP, there we go. All the cool stuff. Well, it looks like we've got the emulated indicator clicker right there. I think that's what that is. Cool. Right, we can put this out the way, we don't need that. This is what we're interested in. Right. If you really wanted to go to town, you could even customise the colours of all of your LEDs. If you've got the equipment to do it, that is. Because surface mounts, soldering onto surface mounts, not easy. You've got... you can do it, but you have to do it with a hot air gun. Change the LEDs over. Right, the indicator, the light that we're interested in is somewhere. Where is it? Let's find out. Because my LCD panel fell out. Also, there's probably a way to fix your LCD panel. Because your LCD panel works on this little strip here. If that strip gets dirty, I'm actually holding this upside down, aren't I? There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. The LCD panel works on this strip here, so if you was to clean that with isopropyl alcohol and that rubber contact just there, then I would bet money that that LCD panel would work again. Also, that LCD panel is, as you can see, fully changeable. So if you do ever get the LCD liquid inside leak out from all the segments, you can just replace this panel and happy days. Yeah, there you go. That's what you want. Isopropyl alcohol. Clean it with some of that stuff. Right. I've got a feeling that it's these two LEDs here that we need to have a look at. Well, no, that's the battery, isn't it? Battery and the next one down, I do believe, is the one. Yeah, because we've not got bed up and down. So it is those 3 LEDs on the edge there, with the battery. Yeah. So there's 2 ways you can do this. You can wire these LEDs in to the battery light or the oil light, whichever is your favourite. I usually do it on the battery light, which is usually quite easy. And the way in which you do that is, that is interesting. There is a resistor on that, which is very interesting. I wonder if it requires that. May do that to make it so you can't change the LED over. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. What we can do is we can power these up manually using a little lithium coin cell. I should have one knocking around my desk somewhere. Yeah, there we go. Just one of these little coin cells. Power these LEDs up just with a coin cell, just to see which polarity it is and which way to connect it on the board. And scrape a little bit. You obviously do need to solder doing this. Scrape some of the, well, there's a nice test point just there. We can solder to that test point, solder to that test point there, and break the connection here maybe with a Stanley blade, or on this one here, and then put solder in parallel, of course, to this here, to these 2 solder pads here on this LED. That should then make that LED wire in with that LED. We'll have to test it, of course, out in the van. I'm going to do the same with the EDC light as well, just because. Just because. It is interesting how there's a lot of connectors and controllers though. Wonder if it's intelligent enough to know. I doubt it, but we'll find out. We can soon reverse all of this anyway. Right, let me get in there with a soldering iron and I'll see what I can do. Right, I'm going to try and show you this, just using some of those ties you sometimes get in those toys, the holding things to packaging. And we're just going to test each LED here, make sure I've got it in the right orientation. Yep, that is correct, positive and negative. Okay, that's not one we needed, but there we go. Just checking to see if that's okay. That one there. You know what I took from me? Oh, you use reverse voltage. Ooh. That might be reverse voltage. The other one. Nope. Nope. That is a working one. Alright, so the positive of each one of these LEDs is on the right side. That's the positive of each one of these LEDs. The negative is on the left side. There you go. So it should be a simple case, and I mean simple, of soldering wires, cutting these tracks here and maybe here, and soldering wires to this side of the LED to this side of this LED, and from either one of these 2 LEDs once they've been connected to this side of the LED on this one, and then the same with the others. That to that to that, like a ladder almost. That to that to that, that to that to that, and then all you've got to do is cut the track at the thinnest point if possible. Just looking, actually, maybe that's not a good idea on that particular one. Don't cut that particular track. What we'll do on that one instead is we will cut, because you've got to make sure, you see, because the track goes somewhere else. This track comes from these 2 resistors here down to this LED, but it also branches off, comes down here and goes to this LED, so we don't want to disable that. It also comes up and goes around here to under that LED, around under that LED, and back up to wherever. So all you need to do with an LED is cut one side usually. Failing that, what we can do is we can just cut around this LED and break its connection. That's what we can do. That's what we might have to do depending on how it is. We'll see. We will see. Okay, that one's easy enough to do because you can just cut straight across that base just there. And there's no other tracks that goes to that. So we can just cut that little track there and around here maybe, or wherever. It doesn't really matter. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure about that little resistor. We may have to take that little resistor off. We'll see. Right, let me get to it. Okay, right. Now, as I suspected, they've been lazy. And what they've done is they've used... Of course, LEDs only work one direction. They're like a one-way valve for electric. They can use that feature. If I can get this to light up, and I'll show you. There you go. Right, you see we've got the bulb. We've got 2 extra LEDs lighting up on here. Got that one there, which corresponds with the bulb out. Third one along. Oops, I'm zooming in and I shouldn't be. 1, 2, 3 LEDs. And we've got one over here lit up as well, which corresponds with water in diesel filter, housing, whatever. Right, and the reason why it's done that, one, I think it's a failsafe for the bulb out light. If it detects one of these LEDs have dropped, it will give you the bulb out light, which is not a bad thing, it's a good thing. We don't need it though, so we can disable that. We have the bulb out light lit up all the time anyway, because we've installed LED lights, you know, into most of our lights, even the indicators, so that light's always lit. I may actually disable that light just because of that. It's not an MOT fail if it's on in the UK anyway. Might be in the future though, so we'll wire it into this same light, I think, just because. Okay, so I don't know how well that's going to come out, but I've cut the tracks, as you can see there, look, in that orientation, around that bottom EDC LED, and that has stopped that water in diesel filter LED from lighting up. Simple as that. That's fixed that, which is good. Right, now we just need to cut around these LEDs here, this engine management light LED, because that's obviously then, if I don't cut that one around, it's going to back feed into all the other LEDs and light them up. So we'll have all the lights lit up. We don't want that to happen. Alright, so thought I'd come out here and give it a test fire. And obviously the engine's running and they're still lit up. Gotta find out why that's doing that. Alright, boys, come out and give it a test. Alright, looks like I didn't get I'll use my tester for this. There we go. Looks like I didn't get this cut here good enough. Let's try it again. Take it outside, try it again. See how it goes. Okay, here we are again. See if my little track cutting skills have paid off. Ignition on. Yeah, the reason why these are lit up dimly is because I've not got the little plastic insert in there containing the LCD screen. So let's just see what happens. And we start it up. Oh yeah! That's what we'd like to see. Nice to have the airbag lights on all the time. Well, that might be because we messed around with the airbags last time we used it. Might have to get the code reader out and see if I can clear them. Awesome sauce. Right, that's good. For now, anyway. See if I can get the code reader out and just clear that light. Okay. Well, as the clock's sort of built back up again and kind of back in, not screwed in, but kind of back in. It actually, it actually snowed. So, yeah, that's interesting. So I kind of didn't come out here to avoid doing this while the snow was coming down. Let's see what happens when we turn the ignition on. Oh yes, everything lights up. Cool. Everything, all this stuff stays turned on until we start the engine up. And it all goes out. Beautiful. Let's turn the headlights on. Beautiful. I think I might leave this running actually. Get rid of all the snow off it. There you go. Now you'd never know there was an engine management light or EDC fault for that matter. Nice. No one's any the wiser. Thank you all for watching. I hope this has helped somebody out. Get their Iveco Daily through the MOT in that ridiculous EGR cooler that they have on them that fails constantly. That gets adequately repaired, but the light remains on. Or that annoying throttle flap that they have on them that has a fault but doesn't have a fault because it still works perfectly. Yeah. Cheap, easy fix. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.